Hello and welcome to the Nitty Kitties channel with me, Any Art Nettie. And today I bring you the Holbein Artist Colour Pencil set, which is the complete 150 colours. Now this one, sadly, you can't get it anywhere other than Japan. Now how did I get it? This is quite controversial. It's some of the pencils don't conform to certain standards in different places, but somehow they're still sold on some very big sites now, so I don't get in any trouble. Shall we say it's rhymes with smam smom, and there's also smee smay. Right, so they shouldn't really be sold in the UK, I've found out. I've got in touch with a gentleman from Holbein and been exchanging emails, and I shall tell you a bit more about that later. But first off, we shall unbox this. Now fingers crossed, there is news in this that they may be coming to the UK, but they may not have the metallic set in, sadly. But I think the one that everyone is after is the pastel one at the bottom. That seems to be the sought after one. So let's have a look at this packaging. There is a wooden box as well, but this is the paper cardboard one, and it's all very sturdy. It came in bubble wrap, really well wrapped, and there's nothing at all that's out of place or anything like that. It's very pleasing. So that's the inside here. We got Japanese and we got English as well. It shows you the reference number for each pencil should you want to reorder them, but sadly at the minute in the UK, and I think the US as well, you can't buy open stock, but fingers crossed that might be in the future, hopefully. Now it shows you which of these, say for instance the shell pink, you can only get that in this 50 set, which is the paper one, and the 150. So all these dots, it shows you there's a 12 set, the set of 12. There's 3 different types, and I'll explain that in a bit. There's a 24 set, 36, 50, which I think is a metal one, and then a 50 in the paper like this, and then there's a 100 set and this complete. So that shows you which ones you get in which set. So I suppose for the time being, when there isn't open stock and you want a particular colour, you could buy it from a smaller set. So price wise, I shall explain more in the description, but I don't really, it's a bit controversial that these are being sold when they shouldn't be being sold, but I'll put prices in for you. Now the first thing when you open it is these 2 leaflets. This smaller one, it's got the colours again, but this time a bit more colourful, and it shows you 150 colours in all. So it's just nice to have. Again, it's the same thing where it shows you which particular colours are in which particular set, and that's handy to keep should reordering be a thing. There's some lovely examples of artwork which is done by various artists, and there's something which we can't really understand unless you speak fluent Japanese, but it's all in English here. It's basically about health and safety and hygiene, what you should and shouldn't do. You shouldn't really be putting them in your mouth. I don't know, when I was in school I used to borrow a pencil to someone, it had come back chewed. That's absolutely disgusting in my humble. But don't lick the core of the pencil. The fact that they have to actually put that in a set shows that people do it, and I know they do because I used to get chewed pencils back when I borrowed them. But keep them away from children. So these are not for children, they're for adults only. You've got to wash your hands thoroughly after you use them and store them in a safe place, which is common sense really, isn't it? So this bigger one here, I'll just have a flip through that. So you got all the colours swatched out there, but you'd want to swatch them yourself, really. And then there's some examples of different techniques that you can use. So it's pretty self-explanatory really, but you can, I use Google Translate, which has got where you can put it's a camera, it's like an app, and it will translate it when you point it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I shall put all these up and scan it, and then you can translate. I shall do that. And then there's more examples again of layering colours, makes more colours. So if you do buy the smaller sets, you can layer those colours, and you've got 150 colours, so heck knows how many actual colours. If you start layering these, you have about 500 colours. Absolutely spoilt for choice. So again, layering, so if you layer under the blue, layer over the blue, that makes it lighter and that makes it darker. So it's basically all about colour theory really, and just the basics of art. So a gradient here from light to dark, and then 2 colours and then 3, and I'm going to show you some more of that up close. It's got about using spirits such as what we sell in the UK. We've got Zestic Blend, Spectrum Noir. This is their own brand, Melts. So that's what that is. It's talking about the effects that you can get using them. And then also using the white pencil. There's a soft one with this, which goes quicker obviously because it's softer, and there's a harder one because they are a mix of wax and oil. And also, I don't know the particular blend, but it's quite harder than a Faber-Castell. It's not as soft as a polychromos. It's somewhere in the middle of them, but the soft white is very good for more blending that way. See the soft and then the harder white there. So there's 2 whites in this set, and there's 2 blacks as well. So this shows you here. This is a tutorial for it. So you scrape off the lead there with 2 different colours, add some spirit, and then you get a tissue and a stencil. Put it into the stencil like that, and it just makes these cool shapes. So that's a nice little tutorial to try out there. Maybe another time I'll do that in a video. And then some more beautiful examples of artwork that people have done with these. And you got those lovely pastels there. And there's the back page if you want to get in touch with them. So what have we got? Shall we have a look at them? So there's all this to protect them on the first layer. And wow. These are absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. So you got basically every colour under the rainbow and more there. And that's only the first layer, so there we go. You've got in gold Holbein, I believe, Artist Colour Pencil, Japan. They're a closed end and they're not straight across, it's beveled there. That I believe is cedar wood. Do comment below if you, no it's not. And then Holbein on the back, Holbein Works Limited, the colour and the light fast rating, which I'll get to in a minute. And there's the particular colour there for reordering. So that's it. Stunning. It's quite big as well, it's quite a bigger one compared to some matron. And then you've got these little ties either side to pull them out, which is very good. Oh, let's have a look what's underneath this, just in case you're curious. I'll try not to. So it's a plastic layer there and that there. I think there's a piece, it's a very sturdy piece of cardboard under there. It's corrugated. So it's all packaged lovely. I'll just pop that there. So we've got another layer there. I like to keep these because I don't bother putting them in pencil cases or anything like that. I like to keep them in the boxes, but that's just me. So you've got a nice set of greens. There isn't much in the way of browns in this, which I'm not really bothered, to be honest with you, but it might bother some people. You got your cool greys and you got your warmer greys, depending on what tone you want. You want a cooler or a more warmer tone. when you're doing your shading, 2 blacks, 2 whites, and these are the metallic ones. So we've got a silver, an antique silver, bronze, pale gold, gold, and copper. So that's a selection of metallics. So I'll tell you a bit more about them in a bit. Look, there's ties again. And another layer, and this is the really pretty one. Look at that. That's really nice colours, isn't it? So you got your skin tones here. Stunning, absolutely stunning. And then you got in this one, I think it's the biggest set, it's the biggest amount, sorry, get it right, Nessie, the biggest amount of fluorescence that I've seen in pretty much any of the sets I've got. You got luminous green, luminous yellow, luminous orange, luminous red, luminous ochre, which is like a lighter a fluorescent pink, and luminous rose. So we'll lift that out. It's like the chocolate box you got to the last layer. Oh, and then pop that back in again. So aren't they stunning? Very, very nice indeed. So I get you wondering now. I guess you're wondering now, well, what can they do? And that I shall show you. I'll just put this back together again. And that goes. So I'm sure you'll agree with me, that is an absolutely stunning set, and fingers crossed we can get them proper on sale in the UK. So let's see what they can do then. Okay, so I've prepared some examples and comparisons here for you. These are going to go on my Instagram and Facebook. If anyone wants them anywhere else like Twitter or whatever, do let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to get them to you should this interest you. I've done a black pencil test from various brands. I've got Arteza, someone let me know, Prismacolor Premier, Castle Art, which is one of my favourites, Faber-Castell Polychromos, Spectrum Noir, which was what I started with when I got back into art again, Caran d'Ache Luminance, which is my absolute all-time favourite of any of them, Giotto Still Novo, which is so cheap. They're under £10 here in the UK for a set of 50, and for that price they are stunning. Very good pencils, especially their fluorescent is very, very good, and I'll show you that in a minute. And we got the Holbein, which has got 2, unlike the others. So I don't know how well that shows up for black, but I will get that uploaded and you can see the difference between all the blacks in each set. So pretty much through all this bits of paper here, you'll see the same sets repeated, unless they haven't got, they've all got black and white, unless they haven't got a fluorescent in them or a metallic. So that's all the blacks there. The lamp black is a bit lighter than the normal black, but I think the best out of them was probably the Prismacolor or Faber-Castell. Caran d'Ache was really, really good, very soft. These Holbeins aren't that soft, so they are a bit harder to blend. So I've done a white colour pencil test here, and again the same brands, I'll upload this as well. The Holbein has done really well compared to the others. The soft white is brilliant. It's pretty much the same softness as, say, your Caran d'Ache, or somewhere like Caran d'Ache Prismacolor. You're looking at that kind of soft, and the white is somewhere near Faber-Castell if you're familiar with them. Sadly, the Spectrum Noir didn't do very well in that. I have done a white pencil comparison test, a more in-depth one, and I'll link you to that in the description. So this is a metallics comparison. So there's only Prismacolor which have got free, Faber-Castell Polychromos have got free. The Giottos compare really well to these more expensive ones, and you got the Holbein, which you got 6 of them. So that's what they look like on black. I'm going to do a video of a piece of art with some metallic pencils, so that's coming up to look out for. So do like and subscribe if you want to stick around and we shall upload that soon, sometime in the near future. So that copper is absolutely stunning, very nice, compared to Faber-Castell's, but I'll upload that so you can see it properly. And then we've got the fluorescent. I've done fluorescent on black and on white, but it doesn't seem to show up as well on black. I thought it might, it was just something I wanted to try. But we've got Prismacolor, which has got a pink, yellow and orange. The Giotto, which is really good. The orange is more like a red, really. And then the Holbein are stunning, very bright. And then this is what they look like on black. It was just something I wanted to do. It was an experiment. It might not be helpful, it might be. But they all look very nice on there, I think. So let's move these out of the way and I shall get them uploaded and scanned, should you want to see them. Now this is how I've started doing my comparisons. But I do like, there is a lady called Tabby May and she's got a website which I'll link you to, which is fantastic. If you want to do 1 layer, 2 layer and then a burnish, I highly recommend them, and I'll put a link for you. I have done a video with one of the charts and I highly recommend. Absolutely fabulous. So what I've done here is I've wrote out all the 150 sets. I'm going to swatch them out for you and explain a few things about Holbein, and I've got some blending here to do. So just while I sharpen this pencil, which I should have done before, I've got a red, orange and yellow blend. I've got a yellow and green blend, purple and blue. This sharpener isn't working. A dark pink and a light pink, and then a dark brown and a light brown. Now like I say, there isn't many browns in this, but when you think about how you can layer all these colours, it's not too bad really, is it? So, different blending solutions here. So if I write down what they are as I'm doing them, we can keep up better. Let's get one of these, that'll do. And also one of them. So first off, I have from the Caran d'Ache, this is a blending stick. You get 2 of them in the 76 set, but you can buy them individually. Well, you get 2 in the pack. So from a red to, let's see how much smoother we can make this and what it looks like, because you might have different supplies and be like, well, I haven't got that one, so I'm trying to get a very different brand, so people say, oh well, I've got that one, so I can use that one. So that'll just make it, if you're good at blending anyway, you won't need things like this, but it does help in a big way, and it gives a different kind of effect, doesn't it? So that's the Caran d'Ache one. This one here is going to be the Derwent blender. Just in case you were wondering, well, how does my Derwent blender pencil, what does it do with this set? I shall show you only very quickly. This is not professional, and I don't claim to be a professional artist in any way. I'm more of a hobbyist. But if I can make something out of doing art, that would be fabulous, but I don't expect it. But I'm here to help, and I like to save people money if I can. That's my aim. So that's it does make a lot of dust, that, but it's made a hell of a change to that. So I wonder if I've got any, no I ain't, don't say, any cotton buds. There we go. Hallelujah. Right. So I've got the Zest Blend It. Let me write that down before I forget it. Zest It. Blend. Let's have a look. Oh, hello. I know what I've done. Silly me. That's the whole bottle. you got the blending sponge, which saves you a bit of money. You only have to pour a little bit in and it lasts you ages. So just pop that in there. And you don't need that much. I know people sometimes, I do it, I'm guilty of sticking that in, and you shouldn't do it really, because you got more than enough there. And the thing is that that oily look will dry, so it's not half bad. So you can see the effect that has on that, and it smells lovely, that zest it. It's got kind of a zest, like an orangey lemon smell to it. Pop that in the bin. And why am I putting that away? Because I'm trying it with a tortillion as well. What am I like? Right. See, you got more than enough there, see? So like I say, this is only quick. It's like, Nettie, you're making an absolute mess of that. I know, it's only to demonstrate. So, there we go. That's zest it. Blend tortillion. And that one's with a cotton bud. In different countries, did they refer to one of them different? Let me know. Do comment below. In case, what's a cotton bud then? It's one of them. I don't know. So shall we try the Spectrum Noir pencil blending solution and see what that does? Sadly, I don't have the Melts brand with me to try that, but I'm pretty sure on YouTube there's plenty of other people who've used it, so do have a look and let me know and comment below. Blah blah has done this, so I can have a look as well. So yeah, there we go. It starts to break down the colour and it doesn't get that grainy pencil look anymore. And like I say, that oily look, that'll go and dry out. It's already started to there, see? So they work really, really well with solvents and Gamsol. So next we shall test these. We shan't test it. We shall swatch out these colours so you can see what they're like, and I'll explain a bit more about the gentleman that I've been talking to in the emails. Very nice chap. Okay, right, so let's get swatching these and I'll tell you a bit more about them. So we shall start off with lemon. Now I've not put them in the right order as I've wrote them, but I'm sure that won't matter. I'm sure you'll let me off, it's a friendly channel. So, about this gentleman I was talking to, I seen a couple of I was going to say smee then, a couple of YouTubers I've seen that weren't able to get in touch with Holbein at all, but for some reason I had some success with that, which is great because I mean it'll get the message across about what's going on with these. So basically the gold, pale gold, the bronze and the copper, which you know is the metallics, they conform to, oh hello, just throw them over, they conform to what's called ATSM D4236, which is the standard in Japan, but that standard, they don't conform to UK, Europe or US standards, so they cannot be sold in those countries, sadly. And that is because they contain copper, which if it's swallowed, which is a bit silly, I don't know why anyone would do that, it is extremely dangerous. It's basically get medical attention very promptly, do it now. So after you've used these, you must wash your hands immediately, and don't eat, drink or smoke, have the pencils where you eat or anything silly like that. I know it's easily done and it's easy to do, but don't. Don't mess with your health for the sake of your art. But keep them out of the reach of children as well, because they're not for child use. These are just for adults. So they don't have warning labels on, which they should. These don't have warning labels on, so they shouldn't really be sold anywhere where this safety standard doesn't conform, which is sadly why you won't find them on sale. Now, once they get these labels on, they are able to sell them in different countries, which would be absolutely amazing, because then everyone would be happy to be able to get their hands on them. So this gentleman anyway said, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask me. And I said the same. If I can be of any help at all, you got my email there. So very friendly, very informative. And so he asked me, where did I buy them from? And just so I don't get in trouble here, shall I say something that rhymes with smam, which they apparently should not be selling them because of this. They don't conform to that standard, and they shouldn't be sold out of the country. So they need obviously authorization. And there's another certain big worldwide selling company where they're selling them too, rhymes with smee, and there's unauthorized sellers on there. Now my worry started that is Holbein losing money because of this? That's not really the case, but if it's a hazard to somebody's health, that is not very good at all. So I asked this gentleman, well, I'm worried about your business, and how does it affect yourselves? Stuff like that. I do a concern because my partner and myself, we sell our knitting, and my partner makes jewellery, like chainmail and stuff like that, really cool stuff like that, and we sell it on various selling sites, and we have to conform to some standards. And if somebody was selling our stuff and making more, I'd be really angry. So yeah, so I was curious about that, being that I sell stuff myself. It's not anything big. We're a very very small business. It concerns me. So I wanted to make sure that everything was okay in that way. And he said thank you for that, and he was telling me I hope you enjoyed drawing with these and stuff like that. So he asked me, was there a QR code on the box? So of course I couldn't find it, but my partner did, and we sent a photo of it. So yeah, like he said, he said to us, they're basically on this rhymes with smam, that they're all unauthorized, and they're tracing the sales records in case there's any problems. Now that I'll get into in more detail. He was very polite, and he was like, there's no rush, and if it's any trouble, please don't do it. I was like, well, no, I'm very happy to help. This isn't me being a whistleblower or anything like that. It's literally just very, very intriguing and very interesting, because colour pencils are one of my passions. And as you may or may not know, Holbein are more famous for their paints, which are amazing quality. So the news is, and this is a big email, so what I'll do is I'll read it out to you. Sometimes the English is a little bit not very well translated, but his English is very, very good. So here we go. If I read that out as I'm swatching these two. As the coloured pencils are not distributed properly via our distributors in the UK and the States, US, the prices cannot be compared. However, basically authorised items via distributors are more expensive than not authorised ones, and that's called parallel importing. Since our distributors need to quote high enough, as they need investments, workers, promotions, workshop demos for example, logistics like the warehouse, they also need to pay duty and tax to import, the shipping costs and so on. What's happening in the States, in the US, is some retail customers stop selling our watercolour sets. Some consumers who know the prices on Smam think that our authorised retailers are ripping off. So, regulation issues. It goes on to say, as I've told you, each country has their own regulation and it should be conformed properly to sell, which I think is spot on. You do too, so I imagine. So he said, thank you for my consideration and being serious about our business. And he said, please allow me to explain a bit further. I'd like you to know the situation. So this is where we get a bit more in depth. In fact, as a manufacturer, make profits since products are from us anyway. So that's good in one way. And we've got to layer 2. So let's just move them out of the way before I read this. No matter who buys our products and no matter where our products are sold. Therefore, we should be happy with Smam and Smee as new sales channels. However, we cannot be happily, easily and simply because 1. We must protect our authorised retailers who invest and promote our products in each country. They are the ones who make zero profit from Smam sales. Try saying that when you've had a few in their territories. Let's go on to the next page. See, I wouldn't be able to remember all that off the top of my head. Have I already swatched this pencil? You can have it again. Since coloured pencils have been approved finally, our distributors in the US are now preparing to bring them into their countries officially, which is fantastic news. I think you'll all agree and be quite excited about that. So that's the good news I've got to bring you. Now 3, a warranty and guarantee issue. Any warranty and guarantee is honoured only with a valid proof of purchase from our authorised sellers. I often receive emails directly from those who purchased from Smam and etc. telling me that their sellers did not take a return. Terrible. Some sellers have even closed their accounts. I'm sure you know the stuff that goes on when you buy something from something that's second hand. It can either be really, really good or really, really rubbish, can't it? So let's get back to the letter. So they close the accounts. I really wish to help them, but without any proof, we are not able to do anything. So they really do care about their customers, which is brilliant. We're not able to guarantee the items purchased from Smee, which nobody can prove it was new. As you know, and he's just said what I know, there were a lot of second-hand items there. Some even might be counterfeits, which is terrible. I think is a terrible thing. To cope with this properly, I think this is a common policy to everybody worldwide who sells products, which is why it concerns me myself, and I was very interested in knowing more. So number 1 that I said has nothing to do with consumers. However, 2 that you heard and 3 do. So that's basically, in a nutshell, as much as I can, what's going on, why they're not sold in different countries, and what is going to be happening, and they're going to have labels on them. So that's quite exciting news, I think. So hopefully at some point, I don't know when, if I hear anything, I'll keep in touch with this gentleman as much as I can, and I'll let you know what I know. I'll let you know. So we'll carry on with the swatching with a time lapse, and I'll get back to you at the end of that, and we'll do some colouring in and some examples. So there's the swatches there. It's very condensed. I'll do another one, and I'll do it with tabby maze so you can see what 1 layer, 2 layer and a burnish looks like. These are basically all the burnish. So you can see them lovely fluorescents, all of these absolutely beautiful. That sounded like off Great British Bake Off then. What's his name? What's his name off Great British Bake Off? Paul Hollywood. Beautiful. All these beautiful pastel colours here. You got your greys. There's a lovely gradient there. And then landscape kind of colours, and these lovely brights, reds and oranges. So some bits are left out, which I should have told you. But I'll scan a proper nice swatch of them for you. So where are they? In the leaflets here, it tells you about the different sets somewhere. Not that one, Nettie, this one. Yes. Right, so I found out, I was telling you about the different colour sets, and there's different pencils in them. There's a 12 colour set, which is the basic colours, and that's for your basic tones. So there's another 12 colour one, which is ideal for illustrators and colour composition. And there's another 12 one, which is the pastel tones. It's just 12 different ones in that, of just pastels. Then there's a 24 set, which is in a metal case, which is more focused on portraits and landscapes. Is there a page turning then? Because I may or may not have this written down here. 36 colour set, which is in a metal case, which is basic colours really. 50 colour set, which is in a paper box, which is got the gold and silver in, but as for that being sold out of Japan, maybe not. Some of the fluorescents are in that as well. And then you've got the 100 one, which is available in a paper or a wooden. And then the 150, which you've seen today, and you can get that in the paper one, or you can get it in a wooden box, which is magnificent. So that's a little bit about, which I omitted, but I meant to tell you about. So let's just quickly put them in and I can show you a bit more. Now in my past videos, do have a look at them. I talk about a lady called Helen Elliston. If I just reach over to my bookcase. Oh, everything goes falling down. She does various colouring books, and she also does So Far Free. Allegedly there's another one coming out. I'll tell you more about that in more videos. Hopefully, fingers crossed, a book 4, which is really exciting. Colourist special effects, which people who use colouring books, but you want it to look more realistic and really pop. So these books, I've got 1, I've got 2 and 3. I'm a big fan, and I won't show you anything in them because I've done that in the previous video, but I will show you one tutorial in particular from book 1. And these are fantastic. What a clever lady. My work is nowhere near as lovely as hers, but she's a professional. She's been doing it years. So, just for the sake of saying, if you like this clip with the smiley face on, I got it from Jackson's Art Supplies, which is in the UK. So, it's very cute. I wonder if people would ask. So this is a tutorial of a jewel, which is from book 1. And I've done this in all the pencil sets that I've got. I've still got some of these actually to do a video of, especially this Giotto Still Novo Intense Colours 50 set. I shall scan this and upload it. I've got a lot of scanning to do. And so you can see the difference properly in clear HD on Instagram. Is it HD? I'll do my best to do it as best as it possibly can for you. And there is the Holbein. So Faber-Castell was a bit more faded. That might just be my technique. I'm going to redo these again in a few months and see. Hopefully my techniques have improved. That's what I'm hoping for, and that's one of the reasons why I make these videos, is I want to see maybe in a year's time, fingers crossed, if all goes well, my art has improved. So I'll be laughing at these and going, they're rubbish. But yeah, so I'll upload them so you can see different ones are waxy and they all give different results. Caran d'Ache again is more waxy again, and then more opaque ones, and they're all different. And this one is one of my bargain recommendations, is Crayola, which you wouldn't expect from £3 or something like that, £3 pack of pencils. Brilliant. So that's that. Now what I'm going to get on with next is, if there's any artists out there, is I'm going to do a portrait of a character called Deet from The Dark Crystal, which has been remade on Netflix. It's absolutely brilliant, highly recommend it. And this is so you can see that if you're a colourist, I hope that was a good explanation of what they're like, or if you're an artist, be that professional or whatever, you can see what they do. You can see what they're like if you're an artist. I didn't explain that very well, did I? Yes. Get on with it and that. But I've heard a lot of people saying that, oh, you shouldn't buy these if you're not serious about your art or whatever. But if you can afford them and you want to buy them, you buy them. But I always recommend to buy open stock first and try a few. Get a black and a white, maybe a red, green, a yellow, and you can't go wrong that way, can you? So, enough nattering. I'm going to get on with this time lapse of DEET. finished, and I tried to do some finer details with some Posca pen, you may have not noticed, and I tried with a white Uniball Signo just to see how they'd work on top of the Holbein pencils. I can recommend the Posca, works really well. And then I went over with this white. It didn't work too badly, it went a bit, I tried a little bit here, some scribbles just to see what would happen. It's not brilliant, but yeah, for the fine, just little bits, it doesn't work too bad on that. I know with Prismacolor this doesn't work too well on top of that. But I hope that kind of demonstrates the kind of things you can do with this. Just to let you know, this is a very, very rough paper. I prefer that because I tend to be very heavy-handed. But you can layer and layer and layer with this. I've tried it on less rough paper. This is very gritty, so it just means you can layer and layer it even more. But yeah, I'm satisfied. I mean, these are brilliant. They won't blend anywhere near as Prismacolor where you can move the colour around with them. They are a lot harder, so they're just a bit harder than Faber-Pastel Polychromos, so I hope that explains it well. This soft white does disappear very quickly because of how soft it is. I used it here and it did give brilliant highlight and even more. It's really nice. And then this, I'll just do a bit more on the forehead. It's not as, but it does burnish the colours very nicely. So overall, these are lovely, and fingers crossed will be on sale in the UK and the US very, very soon, all labelled and safe to sell. So just to tell you that you can use these with pretty much a lot of different papers. Coloured papers will give you different tones again, just like it worked on the black. And also recommend mixing with mixed media, with acrylic paint, pastels, marker pen. You can use them with watercolour and just mix it up a bit. So thank you for watching. I hope that's been informative, and I've just noticed something else as well, just to let you know. I was saying that the got like the end on them, this one hasn't, and that's the soft white, hasn't got that on the end. I just noticed that all the others are closed end. So that's been my video on Holbein 150 colour pencil set. Get my words out. 150 colour pencil set by Holbein. I hope you've enjoyed that and it's been informative as well as entertaining. And please like and subscribe. We'd love you to stick around, that'd be brilliant. And any suggestions, anything you want me to review, or anyone wants me to review something for them, I'd be very, very happy to do that. Just comment down below and let me know. And bye for now. Thanks a lot, bye.